Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NintendoFuse Game Chat. Today, we're talking all about Freddy Farmer for the Nintendo Switch. So, Freddy Farmer is a retro arcade style game. It uses 16-bit style pixel art graphics, and this is a traditional arcade style game in setup, but it actually goes a little bit more in depth, which is really cool. So the story is that Freddy's daughter has been kidnapped by an evil dragon that lives on top of an abandoned castle. The only way to rescue her is with a magic potion that a mysterious wizard can make, but you need to go get the ingredients. And the ingredients are in every stage, but there's a specific order to collect them in if you want the better score and the better points. So there's 5 different worlds. Each of these worlds have 7 levels in them, and they're like open ended. You can tackle as ever you want to. There's more than 25 different enemies, 2 different endings to the story. There's just a ton of different content to this arcade game. But first, I do want to thank the Flynn's Arcade for providing us review codes. They are the publisher of the game. This is developed by Catcade Games. So, Greg, we're going to go to you first. What was your experience like with Freddy Farmer?
Yeah, first off, I wanted to say, as soon as I booted up the game, I saw the most adorable logo of an arcade cabinet with like a little cat on it. That has some props there because I don't usually like to call out logos. So that's quite an awesome logo that's displayed there right when you see the game. But in terms of the actual gameplay, you obviously control Freddy and you go through different worlds, and it's even like a Mega Man style game. If you don't want to start at World 1, you can start at like World 2, 3, or 4 or whatever. So I mean, the object is pretty much just to kind of collect all the different ingredients. You're I guess it doesn't necessarily fully require you to get them like fully in order, but I think that's how you unlock some extra levels within the world because it'll still let you play the first 5 levels, but then when you do clear the 5 of them and you didn't do all the ingredients, that you get a little potion icon for the ones that you did, and there's still like a red X on those that you did not. So you can go back and replay the levels just to get all the ingredients in the specified order, but on your initial first playthrough of the level, you don't necessarily have to, even though it's probably better to do it while you're doing it through there. So you do get 3 lives to use, and also continues as well if you need them. But I really enjoyed my time with it so far. I've only went through like the first world and a little bit of the second world to collect all the different ingredients, and I just had a good blast doing it. The one major nitpick I had is like when you are by the ladder, it pretty much forces you to climb up to the very top. So a lot of other games that utilize ladders, especially like in arcade games, you can usually pause or stop midway on the ladder, and that kind of threw me off quite a number of times, thinking like, "Hey, I could just wait on the ladder for this enemy to move out of the way." But instead, nope, I landed at the top, and then an enemy that easily struck me that was hoping that I could just wait for it to pass by. But um, I get it. That's part of the control style and the gimmick of the fun of it too. So then it's just kind of trying to learn that and figure out how not to always use the ladder instantaneously right when you get to it. So um, thankfully, I didn't run into too many terrible, difficult enemies, but there are a variety that you are able to either jump over or you might have to dodge like a specific attack. And there was some really good variety there for trying to get around them to get the ingredients. And it also adds a little difficulty curve to even jump over ingredients that you might not want to collect initially on your first part through that part of the level. So it's a very thing where you can see the entire stage at a time, and then you just have to navigate around to get the ingredients in the specific order. But it did take me a little bit while to see that they were actually showed all on the left hand side. I was trying to guess the shadows on the right side initially, and then I was like, "Well, is this the apple, or is this like the pine cone thing, or is this something else?" Because like obviously the mushroom is a very distinct shape, but then it was like a few of the ones that are kind of similar, like the eyeball or even the apple stuff too, is like they're very close together, and it's very easy to mistake it. But there is a very clear guide on the left that I apparently seem to miss for the first few continues, but then after that was found, then it was much easier to see what I was actually supposed to, the order I was supposed to collect them in. So I don't know, Steve, what was your experience?
Yeah, funny if I had very similar experience as you. First of all, what a silly story. as a, as a little
Yeah.
farmer, and your daughter gets stolen by a dragon, and you have to go to a wizard. That's just crazy. But yeah, the items being collected in order kind of threw me off too, because I, unlike you, thinking you had to do it on the right side, I missed both of them, and I thought the order was the same as the story that was being told, and I was like, oh man, I have to memorize this and I have to remember them. Then I was like, okay, well, maybe it means in order, like each stage, I'm going to collect a different thing. So I'm after one thing in each stage, and I have to collect them in order. That's the mindset that I had going into it. And then it wasn't until I think a couple playthroughs that I was like, oh, I get it now. It's a different order on each stage. Okay. And now I have to jump over those things and all those things you were saying. Um, like you said, the good thing is that you can progress through and complete the level if you want to. But come to find out, you do need to actually do those in order, because that is how you get the potions that you're talking about, and you need the potions to be able to unlock the final stage. So you need to be able to like collect enough potions. So I forget what the number is, but you have to do enough of them in order to unlock the final castle where you can go and get your daughter back. So yeah, I thought, I was like, oh, forget this. I'm just going to run through every level and just beat it. And I'm like, oh nope, can't do that on all of them. You have to do enough of them in the correct order. Yeah, the ladder thing is, it's not something I want to knock the game about, because it's just that's just the style of navigation that they've chosen to use. But I blame all of the other games that I've played in the past that let you stop in the middle of the ladder, that it's trained my brain over the years that I can do that, and you cannot do that in this game. And I've died so many times because I automatically go up or automatically go down. So yeah, it's, again, not a knock against this game, but it's just different, a different way of doing ladder mechanics, and I have to wrap my head around that. Sometimes the enemies, like tree stumps or the rolling bug things, will start rolling after you, and the problem does come in when you have like two of them rolling at the same time. I found absolutely no way to jump over both of them at the same time. He doesn't jump high and far enough to be able to get away from those. So there are times where I feel like I was cornered and there was no way to get away. The good thing is that, like you said, like you have 3 lives, but you have pretty much unlimited continues, and it saves your progress all the way through. So in a way, I don't even know what the purpose of a continue is. Just give us unlimited lives because it saves your progress the whole time. But anyway, but yeah, I think overall it's not a bad game. I think some of the execution is a little bit rough. Having to collect the items in order sometimes means you're waiting around to move, which is also a problem when there is a timer that is on each level. And so I'm like, I have to wait until this enemy comes, and the timer's just click, going down and down and down. I'm like, I've got to move. So things like that are kind of a pain. But yeah, I think overall I enjoyed it. Some of the enemies are a pain in the butt. And like it starts off pretty easy, but it ramps up pretty strong. Like I hate the distance, like the shooting enemies. Like there's an archer. Oh man, that stupid archer. And like the snowball throwers, they're the worst. There's a lot of trial and error, but it's similar to like old school arcade games in that way, or an NES game. And if you enjoy that kind of a thing, that could be really fun. But for others, or like that could be a really frustrating thing. If it's like the old arcade or NES games. So yeah, even though it has some charm and solid creativity, I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around, like, do I enjoy this game or not? Like, there's parts that are really, really charming, and there's other parts that I'm like, I'm kind of frustrated by it.
See, when I first played it, I was like, I'm just gonna collect the ingredients, like this is just it. And I beat the first level. I'm like, that wasn't too bad. And it was like X, X, check, X. I'm like, oops. And then when I realized you have to do it in order, it changed the entire game, because sometimes you have to jump over and actively avoid collecting an item that's right in your way. And I liked that because it kind of took the whole formula and twisted it on its head. Because you don't necessarily have to do it in order. Like you said, you only X amount of the levels you really have to do it. But it kind of makes that challenge like, oh, I want to try to do that. And I think they give you enough time. I know sometimes waiting around is a little bit of annoying. I know some enemies, it's like, come on, just come towards me. Come on, I'm just waiting around. Stupid little armadillo thing. Come on. But I didn't find it terrible in that sense. The ladder got me too, because again, I'm trained. I'm Donkey Kong. Here I am. I'm gonna climb up the ladder and wait at the top. Why am I keep going? No, I'm pushing down. No, I'm dead. What? Why? So again, it's not the fault of a game. It's the fault of the player. You got to learn. That's the rules of the game. If you push up or down on the ladder, you are committing to that move, and you better pray there's no one there waiting for you. Um, I think the controller was really good. I didn't have problems jumping over enemies or dodging. Getting to the cauldron was no issue. I like the story. I know it's really weird and quirky, but I think that's part of the old arcade charm. Like if you look at a lot of the old arcade stories, they're nonsensical. So that really wasn't a big issue. I like that it's open ended. You can just go in anywhere. Don't try New World, World 2, World 3. A lot of arcade games can't do that, and especially if you think of Donkey Kong, right? Donkey Kong, the NES version only had 3 levels, but the arcade only had 4 levels. It just repeated. This has way more levels than Donkey Kong. There's a lot more bang for your buck, and outside the ladder thing, it really has more to offer. And the ladder thing is just wrapping your head around it. So, just so where again, thank you so much to Flynn's Arcade, the publishers, for providing us a code, and it's $4.99 on the Switch eShop. Greg, buy it now at $4.99. Wait for a sale or pass. What do you think?
Well, I'm a big fan of like the retro style arcade kind of thing, so I would actually give this a recommendation at full price if you also really like the arcade kind of style feel. I mean, I understand arcade games are not for everybody, so I mean, if you don't really like trying to do more high score type challenge kind of stuff, or even just trying to execute like the levels in order with like minimal lives and whatnot, so I do think there's plenty of game here that could satisfy people to get $5 worth of content for us. So I think if you do get a sale, it'd be obviously even better. But yeah, I mean, obviously with the ladder thing, it's kind of like a toss up to see if you can get used to that because we're so trained as every other game that has ladders doesn't do it that way. But I mean, that's something that's just part of the quirk of it, and that kind of forces you to really learn the game better and like try to understand the mechanics and all of that. So I think it is learnable, but it just very off to a difficult start with that. So um, I don't know if you guys did crack a high score, but it did give me like a QR code that I could scan with my phone to post it online if I really wanted to, because I did manage to beat several levels without using a continue. So there is that cool aspect of it as well. I thought I'd bring up really quick.
And I did not get that. I needed continues. So, Steve, what about you?
I think I can recommend it. I think for the style of game, I think it does it well. I think it brings enough new things in there to make it new and fresh. There are some things that I found frustrating, but they weren't like I want to quit this now kind of frustrating. It was just like I don't know if I like this game right now. Kind of frustrating. But I could push beyond that and everything. So I think, I'd say I go ahead and recommend it, except for if you're not into, like Greg said, if you're not into this style of game, go ahead and avoid it. You're just not there. There's not enough new, fresh to like pull people in that are not, I think, already a fan of this genre. But if you are, yeah, I think $5 is not bad at all for the amount of content it has. And yeah, if you find it on sale, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think if you love old school arcade games, there's a lot to this game. And for $5, you're getting a bargain that's cheaper than Donkey Kong with 4 levels. The ladder thing, that's up to you, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. If you get it on sale, I think that's great. And if you absolutely hate old school arcade games, then yeah, I'd probably steer clear or maybe give it a try if it's on sale. But thank you again to Flynn's Arcade. And if you enjoy reviews just like this, please go to NintendoFuse.com or hit that subscribe button right down below. And if you like other content, we have our bi-weekly podcast. We've got industry interviews and a whole bunch more. So hopefully you stick around and check out some of our other content. Steve, Greg, thanks so much for joining me today. And everybody out there, have a great one.